Welcome, everybody, to the St. Louis State Jazzcats Dynasty, Episode 1, where we will be rebuilding the worst FBS team in college football history and hopefully turning them into a powerhouse. We'll be led by our head coach, John Maltese, and we'll learn more about everybody later. So while he's getting dressed in his quarter zip, we're going to go over the house rules. First thing we have to do is start as a zero-star program, which has already been set up in TeamBuilder. The next thing is we can only scout players in driving distance. That doesn't mean recruit, but only can scout players from Illinois and Missouri, and that's supposed to simulate a smaller scouting budget. We can only sign 3-star players from the closer states, which is Missouri or Illinois. All other out-of-state recruits must be 2-star or below. That will change once we become a bigger program. The next thing is there's no manual player progression, so I'm going to let all the players progress automatically. I do think that is more realistic and more fair to the overall outcome of the dynasty. The last two things is we'll be using Matt 10 sliders for both the gameplay and wear and tear. He does great work, so if you guys are looking for a good slider set or having problems with wear and tear, I'd suggest looking at his stuff. And the second thing, or the last of this entire house rule set, is the most important to me because we'll have to face our two rivals yearly. We'll have Missouri State, who's going to be a protected rival since we are in Conference USA, and then we're going to face the Missouri Tigers as our home opener every year, and it is going to be, for both of these series, it's going to be whoever wins the last game hosts the next game. So one of the first goals in this series is going to be have Missouri travel to St. Louis and face us in our stadium. We're going to get into some players now. The first player we're going to highlight is Jordan Maltese. He is the coach's son, and he has very little accuracy, but what he lacks in arm talent, he does make up for with his speed and athleticism. He received multiple Division I offers to run track, but turned them down in pursuit of a football career. Trey Whitford is also in contention for a starting quarterback position. He transferred to St. Louis from a junior college and is hoping to see himself become a starting quarterback in the FBS. Now, Cordell Houston is our best running back. His best attributes are strength and toughness. He won't blaze past you or juke you out of your shoes, but he is a gritty runner. Moving on to our pass catchers group, I'm going to highlight 3 receivers and 2 tight ends. Jazz Wishman is likely going to be our slot receiver. He has decent speed and acceleration. He can catch the ball in traffic, but he's not going to go and win a lot of jump balls. He is only 5'8", and he might be best suited to run across the defense, look for holes in the zone, and catch the ball there. Gorgeous Rhodes is a jack of all trades, but he's definitely not a master of anything. One thing he is not particularly great at is catching the football, which is kind of important for the position he is playing. However, he is 6'4", he is a freshman, so we will see how he develops. Amon Belfast is one of the fastest players on the team. We'll get to some of the other faster players later, but he also has some of the best route running on the team. There will be opportunity for all 3 of these receivers to shine, and hopefully we can figure out what receiver is going to lead the team and be the go-to guy. Owen Kowalczyk is a tight end in the mold of Tim Tebow. He's a very good locker room guy, so we'll see if it translates to the field. Now, DeLorean Hampton is a better pass-catching option, but he's going to be pretty much unplayable in the run game, making him kind of a tell for defenses when he is on the field that we're probably not running the ball. He does have a lot of upside, so hopefully we can develop him into a real weapon. Our offensive line is in rough shape, even kind of compared to the rest of our team. Blake Koski is a raw strength guy. He's even across the board in blocking, not great at anything, and in comparison to this team, not terrible at anything. He is a senior though, so this will be the last year to try and make an impact for this team. Lucas Mangiello is an inside offensive lineman who struggles against finesse players. Hopefully he's matched up with a more power rushing interior rusher archetype, but honestly he kind of struggles against them as well. Prince Kingley is another senior on this line. Compared to most of our position groups, this offensive line group is quite old. Hopefully, though, it'll give us opportunities to replace them with better talent in the near future rather than waiting on players to develop. Vincent Shefford is the only freshman on the starting line. He has a long way to develop. And hopefully, if he does, he can develop into a long-term option on this line for the right guard spot. And Curtis Menninghall is our right tackle, and he is a strength guy. So hopefully he can hold his own on the front side of the offensive line. We're going to be running a 3-3-5 on defense, so we have 3 starting defensive linemen here. Trillion Marion is a power rusher with low block shedding, but higher hit power and acceleration. Kobe McBrien is a speed rusher on the opposite side of Marion, and McBrien is kind of a similar mold to Marion, so we'll see how they fare off together. Now, Jacques Lafleur is going to play our nose tackle position, even though he is a speed rusher. So let's hope he can use his acceleration and some of his finesse moves to get to the quarterback, or, use his block shedding and stop the run. Our linebacking core is occupied by 3 brothers who kind of reclassified so they can all play together. Sam, Mike, and Will Osborne Davis will kind of play the corresponding positions to their name. They all, however, do have a similar skill sets and similar athleticism, but Michael does have the ability to get downhill and stop the run with his higher tackle ability. We will hopefully be able to lean on him to help, kind of in the run fits. And here's our secondary. Marion Michaels is our top corner with decent speed and acceleration. All the other players on this list are going to lack in coverage ability. Well, all the players on this list are going to lack in coverage ability, but hopefully they can make up for it with some of their speed and athleticism, although we're not too great at that either. We'll definitely need safety help if we face some fast receivers. Speaking of safeties, Nate Graham is good in the zone and has some decent agility. He will be leaned on to make tackles on the field and help keep the top on the defense. Valentine Day is going to start in the other safety spot. He's also the only senior on this list, so we'll be looking on getting some more strong side safeties for next year. So don't get too attached to him. I know he looks fantastic, just like everyone on this team. That does, however, bring us to our special teams unit, like our specialty positions like kicker and punter, but honestly it is really comprised with one player. Luis Fonseca is a D1 soccer player for us. He only agreed to play for the football team once we offered him a full scholarship because he was only on a partial scholarship with St. Louis State's soccer team. Luis Fonseca actually comes out as the fastest and most athletic player on the team, as he kind of relies on speed on the football pitch, but we'll need him to rely on his leg on the football field. Now we're going to get into the game, our first game, and just like every year, our first annual game is going to be against the Missouri Tigers. Now it's a sunny day here at Foro Field at Memorial Stadium. Today we're going to see the St. Louis Jazzcats coming to Missouri to face the Tigers. I guess we're in Missouri. But this is a rivalry game. Last time St. Louis took on Missouri, they lost 52-3, and they have actually never won a series in the history of this rivalry. We see quarterback Bo Prabula. He's going to hand it off to Ahmad Hardy, who's going to take it, and it's going to be a loss of 1. Shotgun look now. Bo's still in the backfield. They're going to hand it off again. It's Hardy down the right, now through the sideline and out of bounds for a gain of 5. 3rd and 6 now. A pistol look, still one backer in the field. It's going to be a pass now. Caught by Joshua Manning. Tries to juke out defender. Breaks out the stiff arm. And it's going to be a first down. Gain of 8. Coleman in motion. It's going to be fast to Norfleet, and it is broken up. 2nd and 10. It's going to be play action pass. Another target for Norfleet, and it is caught. Down to about the 45. 1st and 10 again for the Tigers. Another play action pass. This time it's going to Coleman Jr. and it is going to be a gain of 2. 3rd and 8. Stands in the pocket, chucks it deep, and it is broken up. They're going to punt it to the Jazzcats, and now this is our first time seeing the Jazzcats offense. Jordan Maltese at the helm, coach's son. Let's see what the Jazzcats could do in their very first possession. It's going to be a handoff. He takes it. It is going to be a gain of nothing, and Cordell Houston is injured on the first play as a Jazzcat. Pistol look, first drop back. They're going to throw it, and Gorgeous Rhodes has it, tiptoeing on the sideline for a gain of 5. Jazz Wishman in motion now. Another drop back, but he is sacked. It's going to be 4th and 12. And now we're going to see our first look at our best player on our team punting the ball away. It is already Tigers' ball again. Pistol look, 2 backs now. He's going to drop back. He's going to pass it quick. That is Joshua Manning on the catch, but there is a flag on the play. That is going to be holding. They go back to shotgun. Norfleet back on the field. It's going to drop back, and it's going to be targeted to him, but he cannot catch that either. That is 2 big drops from Norfleet already as a handoff to Hardy, and he gets tackled up in the backfield. Our defense is looking pretty good. Pump fake here from Bo. He's going to pass it down the seam, and it is broken up again. That was Jackson Maltese on the breakup. Already back to the Jazzcats ball while Jordan Maltese sails that. 2nd and 10. We got some motion in the backfield. That's going to Cordell Houston. He's already back in the game. Gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7. We're going to have to find a way to stay ahead of the sticks here. Another drop back, for Maltese. And he's going to hit Gorgeous Rhodes on the mesh concept. Find the soft zone in between the backers. Now we're going to see it flipped to the tight end for a gain of 2 there. This is a screen. It's going to be a first down. I believe that is Demetrius Day as we hand it off to him again here. But he's going to be wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage this time for a loss of 4. We see Jordan Maltese drop back, throw it into double coverage. It's tipped and intercepted. That is not what you want to see. Well, our defense was playing good, not letting their offense get anywhere. You see Stephen Hill today with an interception, tiptoe on the sideline. Tigers get the ball back one more time. They're going to test the seam again, but that is broken up again by Jackson Maltese, who's the coach's son, brother of Jordan Maltese. They're going to try to flip that tight end screen, but I believe Jacques Lafleur was there to break that up. They test the seam one more time, and we got that covered up. We're running a lot of Tampa 2 here, and they just cannot hit the seams. Jordan Maltese cold already. We got a player in motion. And it's going to be a quarterback option, and he's going to flip it to Demetrius Day. It's a loss of 2. But you saw the speed on display there from Jordan Maltese. Another play action pass. He's in the backfield, but he does not have time to get out and away from the pressure. 3rd and 18. Almost at the end of the first quarter here. He's going to try to get away from pressure again. That is 2 sacks in a row, 3 sacks on the day from Missouri. Into the first quarter as we got a dancing tiger on our screen. 26 passing yards, negative 26 rushing yards, net 0 yards, 0 average per play. Tigers get the ball back at the start of the second quarter. They're finally going to get their man. That's Joshua Manning on the dig. 1st and 10. Play action. Bo standing strong in the pocket. He's going to flip it and sail it. We're going to flip it again. That's Norfleet. He finally catches one and gets it to the high red zone, fringe red zone area. They're going to continue passing, but this time we get a sack. DJ Sprinkle penetrates, shrugs off a guard, and he gets to the quarterback there. 3rd and 12, another passing play. Quarterback finds room, he escapes and slides. And that's just going to be a field goal for Missouri as it was 4th and 5. Jazzcats ball once again. 7:02 left in the second quarter. And we're going to hand the ball off. Loss of 2. We really need to find a way to get out of this thing as he throws a Hail Mary. Amin answers it. Accelerates past the safety. That is the first touchdown in Jazzcats history. Waving high to the fans, we take a lead in Missouri against Missouri as Amin Belfast, 90 yards. Answers the Hail Mary. I guess that's why they call him Amin. Catches it about the 40-yard line. No one can catch up to him. Let's just do that about 10 more times today. And here's the first points from our star kicker, Louis Fonseca. Tigers ball again. You have to wonder what they're thinking, trailing by 4 in the second quarter as they hit a dig. First and 10. First handoff we've seen in a while to Hardy, and he gets nowhere. Our run defense has been pretty good. Hardy goes in motion here. They're not going to look his way. Instead, they find Pullman Jr., who tries the spin move. Doesn't work. Still a first down, though. Handoff to Hardy. He cuts in and out, and he finds a lane to gain 7. Pistol look. He had tight end trying to wham block there as Hardy gets it almost to the sticks, and they're going to QB sneak it to get the rest. First and 10, 3 minutes left. And it's going to be a flip to Joshua Manning, and he's not going to get a lot. 2 yards. Now it's a handoff to Hardy. He shrugs off a defender. He shrugs off a second. And finally taken down by Jackson Maltese and company as we hit the 2-minute warning. Now it's a play action screen to Joshua Manning. It's going to get him the first down. And it's a quick flip to tight end Norfleet. So now they're going to hit a deep dig. And that's going to take them into the red zone. Our defense was looking good at the majority of this game as Hardy's just shrugging off our defenders, but now we're not looking too good. Handoff to Hardy, and he's going to finish the drive off. That is Missouri's first touchdown against us this season. 30 seconds left. Let's see what we can do with it. Gorgeous Rhodes takes the return, and he's going to get it up to about the 23 as DJ Sprinkle, who had the sack earlier, is injured. Pistol look. Got a running back in motion, and Jordan Maltese is not able to escape. He gets sacked again. Sub 20 seconds left, and he just finds Jazz Wishman to bail him out there. 3rd and 6. Last play before halftime for us. A little Seattle concept there, but it doesn't develop before Jordan goes down with the sack. That is halftime, everybody. Losing by 3, 124 passing yards, but negative 39 rushing yards. We can't get anything going with the run. But it's a close game. Now, I want to give both quarterbacks a chance to play here since they're about the same rated. One has, they're better with the legs, so they can have Jordan Maltese can run better. Let's see what Trey Whitford can do in the passing game as a more accurate passer. So he's going to take in the second half. We have our first look at Trey Whitford here. He's going to hold on to the ball and get sacked. Not a good start. Loss of 7. Trying to stay ahead of the sticks here as Jazz Wishman goes into motion. He's going to hit him on the out route. Gain of 5. 3rd and long. Holds on to the ball again, and he throws it into triple, double, quadruple coverage. Intercepted by the safety. That is not a good first drive by Trey Whitford. They're going to hand it off to Hardy here. He's going to find some space. Shows elusiveness in the open field. Another handoff to Hardy. There's a sea of, an open sea of defenders. Moses would be jealous. And it takes until our safety to tackle him. And now that's Joshua Manning on the screen. He's going to walk into the end zone. Things are getting ugly fast. Oh, that's not Joshua Manning. Seven and a half left in the third quarter. Trey Whitford stuck in the mud. That is one thing about him, is he does not have a lot of agility. He's going to be very slow as he is again, taking his 3rd sack already as he's entered the game. Not even halfway through the third quarter. And he's going to take another sack. That's a loss of 13 yards on 2 sacks. They've sacked him so much they just got injured off sacking him. Louis Fonseca with the punt. They're going to take it at the 40 and gain 1 yard. They already have it in our territory without pretty much doing anything on offense. It's going to be another screen to Joshua Manning, but we covered this. That was Otis Blues on a tackle. Play action to Hardy, and then he finds him in the flats, and he's going to take it all the way up to about the 24. Another play action screen. That's going to be Joshua Manning on the out route, but it is a holding penalty. We're going to get another out route to Norfleet, and he's going to take it up the sideline to get back to second and manageable. And then they're just going to hand it off to Hardy, and he gets a first down within 10 yards of the end zone. Sends a player in motion. They're going to fake flip to him, but it's a handoff to Hardy, and he gets within 5. Now their offense is really in a groove as they hand off to Hardy again, and it is a touchdown. 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and that is a messy run play, and we're going to lose 4. We tried to go back to the run. It didn't work out. We're going to go back to the pass, and Trey Whitford just can't get anything going, holding onto the ball too long and not able to escape pressure. And that's Hardy. As they hand it off to him, he spins him out. Man, put that on ESPN Top 10. They're going to let him finish off this drive, and it is another touchdown. That's 3 for him today after a spin cycle of a century there. We're going to send Jazz Wishman in motion, but it is a fake jet. And Trey Whitford, he's going to use the wheels. Gain of 5. That's the fastest we've seen him move yet. That's going to take us to the fourth quarter as this game has gotten out of hand quickly. Remember, it was 7-10 at the start of the half. Trey Whitford, he escapes. He throws it into the dirt. Those gorgeous roads on the target. Trey Whitford's going to take it again, and they keep blitzing. I think they sent 6 that time. We're going to skip here a bit. They had a couple plays, but we'll just skip to when they're in the end zone, and that is Hardy taking it all the way. Try a screen here. Try to keep it safe. See if we can get anything, and that is going to be a holding penalty, so nothing there. Try some motion out of the backfield, another screen. He can't even get a ball out quick enough that time. 3rd and 20. He's just going to chuck it long, and it is had to be broken up from Jazz Wishman there. He's 5'8". He's not going to catch a lot of those. And he's going to hit the middle of the sideline. Tigers with the ball now. Middle of the sideline, middle of the field. Hardy with the handoff. We're moving a little bit quicker here. 38-7. 2nd and 8. Almost in the red zone now, and that will take him into the red zone. 3rd and 6. 5 minutes and change left. So that's Bo. He's going to hit the dig. And that's going to get him within 5. They hand it off to Hardy again, and he doesn't get in. Maybe it's a goal line stand. Oh, they got a Jazzcat defender. He was offsides. It hardly matters as Hardy gets into the end zone again. We did nothing with our next drive. We're going to hand it back to the Tigers, and they're going to do another screen. That is Coleman Jr. He's been relatively quiet today, but that is a good pickup on the screen there. They're going to hand it off to Hardy again as our run defense can hardly do anything. He gets out of that tackle. 3rd and 3. Play action pass. Good thing because we had that wrapped up. And they're going to hit the receiver on the curl route there to get him within 10. And then it is a quick dish to Hardy. He's just going to accelerate in the end zone. And we're just going to kneel to take this game out. Jackson McAllister with the kneel. Yeah, this is a pretty bad game here from the Jazzcats. Surprised they never pulled their starters. That is 181 yards, 6 touchdowns from Ahmad Hardy. I mean, that is going to be a performance he remembers for the rest of his life. We could pretty much do nothing in the run game, and, you know, our defense kind of crumbled at the end of the second quarter. It doesn't help when we're turning the ball over and not getting any yards on offense. Really was a mistake on my end to pull out Jordan Maltese, as you see here. 124 yards, 75% completion percentage. He did have an interception, but he was also our leading rusher on the day with, well, it says negative 39 yards. He did have more rushing yards than that. It takes sacks into account. Receiving, Ahmed Belfast, of course, he had that 90-yard touchdown reception, so he was a leader there. But Lucas Mangiello had let 5 sacks in, so maybe we'll be looking to switch up the offensive line there. It's never a good sign when the leading tacklers on your team for the day are linebackers and safeties, corners. Punting, Luis Fonseca had a decent day. 31.8 isn't the highest, but we'll get into some recruiting now. We have a 4-star running back here at Lee Summit, Missouri, and he is pretty good. 86 speed, 91 acceleration. We're looking to add him along with Mike Buchanan, who is a wide receiver from Florissant. Excuse me, I'm not actually from Missouri, so if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, I'm sorry. This one I think I got. Blue Springs, Missouri. Tyler Roto. He is a tight end, 3-star athlete that we're looking at. 81 speed, 78 strength. Looks like a good receiving option. Tyler Good, he's a pure blocker here in St. Louis. We haven't scouted him yet, but we're going to be in the race for him. Let's move to offensive lineman. This is right tackle John Dingle. We're in the race for him along with Kevin Stewart. Let's move to defensive tackles now. Parker Shaver from the same Florissant, Missouri. I'll learn to pronunciate that. He looks pretty decent too. We're going to try to get into the race for him. Looks like 59 block shedding, could be higher, but let's go to Sam linebackers now. Terrence Berryman, we have scouted him. He has good speed, good play rec, good zone, and good pursuit for the type of recruit he is. And then Willie Cherry, he is a lurker type, and we're the #1 team on his board. Kenyon Crum for a Mike linebacker, we're 3rd on his board. We have not scouted him yet, but he's from Columbia, Missouri. Josh Holiday, or Jay Holiday, if you're a music fan, from St. Louis. We have fully scouted him, and we're going to be looking to try to add him to our team. 89 speed, 89 acceleration, good press coverage, which I'm excited about. And then Ted Ritchie, he's a 2-star from St. Louis as well. We're the #1 team on his board. We have not scouted him. And then Killian Meeks, also looking at him. He's on the other side of the state. So Brett Frost here at free safety. We need to add some safeties as 2 of our strong safeties are seniors, so we are going to look to add them as we advance. It looks like Terrence Berryman is going to lock us out. Unfortunately, I really liked him as a prospect. Willie Cherry has a deal breaker, but I think we're good there. We just need to make sure our play style is higher than a D. And then Jackson Maltese, CUSA or Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week against Missouri, which is unfortunate because he has way more tackles than he should, but he did have 4 pass deflections as he is also National Player of the Week. As you see here, Jaden Smith for the offensive side of the ball. So to reward that performance, Jackson Maltese, also because your coach's son, we're going to set you as a captain. So some scores from week 0, we see Kansas State versus Iowa State. I believe in real life this was in Dublin. We see Iowa State win this one. For Conference USA here, we see this next schedule coming up. So we're going to see how these teams shake out as we're going to take on Akron right now. Here we see Jordan Maltese for his 2nd start. He didn't play the second half last week, but he's going to have his first full game to play here against Akron. We're going to start with 20 personnel split in a pistol look, and that is going to be a gain of 7. Hopefully we can get a little bit more creative here in the run game as we give it to Cordell Houston. We're going to try to use Jordan's legs more, but we didn't really do anything on that drive. Offense with quarterback Ben Finley. We have running back Taven Curry in the backfield. He doesn't wear 19 in real life, but I guess in the game, as Jake Newell is targeted for a 6-yard gain. This game is going to go a little bit quicker, hopefully, than the last game, as Newell is targeted again. And that is 4th and 3. We get the ball back. Maltese drops back. He tries to evade pressure, but he gets sacked again. That seems like all the Jazzcats offense has been so far this year. Another sack to make it 4th and 15. We kick it back to Akron. The Zips offense takes the field, and they're going to target. That is Polk for a gain of 6. Finley takes a snap on the pistol look. He's going to pass quick to Newell, and that is a first down. David Curry gets a handoff now. He's going to run up the middle, run into his home blocker. It is a gain of 7. Shotgun look. 11 personnel, and they're going to flip it, but it's tipped by Jacques Lafleur. It went off his helmet. I can't tell if that went off his helmet or he hit it, but regardless, he forces 4th down, and it is going to be a kick by Akron to get on the scoreboard. Empty look here, and it's going to be a quick pass, and that is Amen Belfast for a first down on the very tight window that Maltese hit. Tight trips to the left, and that's going to be a handoff. A very slow developing play for 3 yards, so we lose 2 on the next. But now Belfast goes in motion on 3rd and 9, and Maltese can't find time. He can't find space. That is another sack as Blake Koski goes down with an injury. Fonseca here with the punt. I feel like he has plenty of plays to put on his huddle tape, as that is another handoff from Akron. That is Marquise Williams with a gain of 6. Now they're going to go back to Curry, and he jukes to the outside, and he's going to make it into the secondary. And that is at the 40-yard line. They go back to him again. He's going to cut outside, and that is a gain of 5. 3 attempts, 25 yards for him so far. But they're going to go to the pass game this time, and they're going to target Tim Greer Jr. They target. He does not come up with it, and that is another kick from them. And that is good. We get the ball back now, start of the second quarter. We're going to try to flip it into a screen to Cordell Houston, but he does not get any yards. Our screen game isn't working. Our run game isn't working. As we try to throw it, it is intercepted by Flowers. He's going to run it back. Finally tackled by Jazz Wishman at the 26. But that is great starting field position as they hand it off to Curry. He gets outside, and if he had more acceleration, he could have taken that. But it is at the 15. Play action pass to Curry. They're going to flip it to Newell, and he's going to get within the 10 as Victor Vanderpool goes down with an injury. Now, they hand it off to Marquise Williams. He sheds the tackle, and it is first down. They go a play action to Williams. Ben Finley keeps it, and he runs it into the end zone. Not sure if that was designed. Regardless, it's our ball now, and we're going to try to hit Amen Belfast. He catches it. That is a first down as we go back to Cordell Houston here, and that is a loss of 4. Making some adjustments at the line here, but it doesn't matter. He slips the first. No, he fumbled it. Slips the first sack, gets sacked again, and it is a sack fumble. And it gets worse here as Polk just gets the ball tossed to him, and that is a wide open lane. I don't know what anyone on our defense was doing. One play drive ends in a touchdown as they kick it off. 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And we're looking as slow as ever. Our first game in St. Louis at the Teal Turf. Surprised I haven't said that earlier. 12 personnel here. We have all the time in the day. He doesn't find anybody. It's another sack, but he had his tight end open that entire play. This time we're going to flip it to Gorgeous Rhodes just to get back to 3rd and 11. He evades pressure very quick. He tries to flip it to, and it's caught. I think that is Gorgeous Rhodes on the catch. Jordan Maltese, he tries to find some time, flips it out. It is broken up, nearly intercepted again. That would have been pretty much the exact same interception he threw earlier, but this time he's going to play it safe, flip it to the running back. He jukes someone out and gets the first down. Starting to put a little drive together here. 2 minutes left, and that is a quick little screen to get 7. Little mesh here. He tries to flip it to Cordell Houston, but it goes nowhere. 3rd and 3. We try the screen pass here. See if we can just get to the first down. We do, and more. And that was the warning. We got 1 yard on first down. And we're now going to flip it. That is Amin Belfast into the red zone. He has by far been our best receiver this year in the first 2 games, first 6 quarters even. As Maltese takes it, he evades pressure, and he's going to get down to the 1-yard line. 15 seconds left. Jazz Wishman's uncovered on the far side of the field. We're just going to flip it to him back of the end zone. Touchdown, Jazzcats. I don't know what the defense was doing. They're loading up the box. They left Wishman with no one on him. And we're going to take that free touchdown to take it to halftime. Still negative rushing yards for us on the season. A lot of that is sacks, but we can't get the running game going either. We do have 118 passing yards, but we need to be more balanced as they pass it to Newell on the out route. And that's going to get almost to 30 already. Now it's a play action. That is Tim Greer. He's going to take it all the way to the tackle. Going to take it all the way to the 12. First and 10. 6 minutes in the third quarter. He finds he finds Tim Greer. He turns the corner. Just doesn't have the angle and then dives into the end zone. That is one of the better plays I've seen. They're going for 2 because they're greedy. And they're going to find. That is Kravak Mac, all academic team last year. We're so bad, we're getting scored on by nerds. No, I'm just kidding. Third and 10, we're going to launch a prayer. And it is incomplete to Jazz Wishman. We give the ball back. 4.5 left in the third quarter. 3rd and 3. And they're going to try the seam. They catch it. That is Tim Greer Jr. again. Getting one on our defense. Play action pass. And they're going to flip it. That is Jake Newell. He's just going to dive into the end zone. Touchdown, Zips. Now, if you look at the scoreboard, it is 35-7. But to make matters worse, Akron is one of the worst teams in college football, and they are dog walking us. Jordan Maltese, he tries to find space. He evades a tackle, evades a sack, and that is intercepted again by the same man, Flowers. Jordan Maltese cannot keep making these same mistakes as Curry gets the handoff. He's got the space. He takes it in, and it is going to be down. No. Man, he almost got it to the end zone. If he just extended the ball, it is down at the 1. Let's see if we can have a goal line stop here. Curry's still in the game. 2.5 left in the third quarter. We do. That is a loss of yards. They go to a more open set, but they just give it to Curry anyways, and he finishes the job. That drive was all him. 42-7 now at nearing the end of the third quarter. Another mesh concept here. We try to flip it to the curl route. Amin Belfast could not come up with it. 2nd and 10. Another play action pass. He tries to flip it. It's contested. And it is knocked out for Gorgeous Rhodes. 3rd and 10. What can we do here? Maltese finds space. He's just going to run. And that is... Jukes a man. Shed the tackle. Down at the 41-yard line. Now it's the start of the fourth quarter. Final quarter of today's episode as Maltese takes off again. He's got all the space in the world, and he just smartly slides down. He is starting to learn. He's going to try single coverage deep and just overthrows his receiver. That could have been big. And now we're just going to flip it. Screen. And gain a 2. 3rd and 8. Let's see if we can do anything here. He does find a man, but that is tackled down. Cordell Houston on the catch. 4th and 4. We're going to go for it because what else do we have to lose? Drops back, scans, surveys the field, and it is caught for the first down. I feel like I'm celebrating that first down like it was a touchdown. Now we are in the red zone. Quarterback draw, and we are back outside of the red zone. Short-lived, but we'll take it. 1 red zone trip. As Maltese takes it, and he's going to be down at the 10, at the 11. Now, does this count as 2 red zone trips? If you get into the red zone, get tackled out of it as we test the back of the end zone there, and then go back into it. I'm interested if that's 2 red zone trips in the stat sheet. Maltese, he's going to try to flip it. 4th and 3, and he overshoots his receiver. Turnover on downs. Akron didn't do anything with their next possession, surprisingly, so we're just going to get the ball back here. And that is DeLorean Hampton with his first catch on the season. Maltese tries to escape pressure again, and instead of throwing an interception like he did last time he rolled out left, he intelligently gets 7 yards. He's learning on the fly here until he tests double coverage, and that is a holding penalty anyways. Disaster all around. 2nd and 13, 3.5 left. Maltese takes another sack. 3rd and 19 now. He tests single coverage. Safety's rotating over, but it's caught. Jazz Weisman down at the 30. He flexes. It's raining here in St. Louis like it usually does. 2.5 left. Maltese, he scrambles, and he's going to take it in the red zone again. I think we're finding some success with the improvisational skills of Jordan Maltese, but we are the Jazzcats as we take it down to the 6, and Jazz is all about improvisation. Maltese, he tries to he flips it underhand to DeLorean Hampton. That is the best 3-yard gain I've ever seen in my life. And he can't connect on the screen for the touchdown. 4th and goal, we're going for it. Motion. Shotgun with the single back. Takes his time. He tries down, and it's almost intercepted. We're just going to take it to the end of the game now. We lost 42-7. Akron almost looked as good as Missouri this game. Are we ever going to win? They beat us in pretty much every statistical category. 4th down conversion, though, we did get them. They did not convert anything on 4th down. We did once. So, I mean, if that's anything to take home, I think we should celebrate that. Player stats here. 47% completion, down from 75% last week. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Not a good outing for him passing-wise, but he found some success on the ground, which is important to build on. DeLorean Hampton, 4 catches, 35 yards. Riverman, 4 catches, 31 yards. Blocking, we allowed less sacks. Louis oh man, I keep messing up. Anyways, Otis Blues, most tackles, which is not good as a corner. Jackson Maltese, 7 again, which our corners should not be leading our team in tackles. We have the Osborne Davis triplets on the stat sheet as well. Louis Fonseca, 1 extra point, no field goals, 30 yards averaged for punting. We go back to Matt Abel here. He was the 4-star running back we're looking at. We're climbing his board, and we're also going to look at that quarterback Dante Selvia. We give him a scholarship along with Matthew Longo. Now, week 1 stats. This is for Conference USA here. We see UNLV beating Sam Houston by 2. Akron destroying us. Liberty beats FCS East, and then FCS Southeast goes 0-3 against Conference USA this weekend. USC beats down on Missouri State, which is always good to see from our perspective. UTEP beats Utah State, and New Mexico State is victorious. Conference USA Players of the Week right there, and this is the Heisman Trophy watch. We're going to advance 1 week. We see that with Matt Abel, we are top of his list. We're going to add some points here to Dante Selvia, but man, Matt Abel, let's see if we can get that 4-star running back. Everybody, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.